Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Great and Powerful Zilla, and today I'm bringing you a replay of this early access Soviet battleship, the Pyotr Velikiy. Okay, I got this through one of those crates, that you buy with your little tokens. Um, let me show you real quick. In case you're not familiar with this, most of us are by now, but we're going to cover all the bases. So, as soon as it comes up here, um, yeah. Okay. I bought this. All right. And one of them had the bonus mission to get the Tier 5 Russian battleship. So what I did was you had to get 10,000 base XP. And I knocked that out fairly quickly, and I got it. Now, I don't have the doubloons to buy permaflage for it. It is an early access battleship. So what I did, I put Valentine's Day camo on there, kind of the white and red. You know, it should be white, red and yellow for the Soviet, but that's what I did. All right. So what do we got here? We got a rough, tough battleship at Tier 5. Real tough. Okay. It has its limitations, though. So let's take a look. First of all, its armor. Okay, it's got good hit points, a lot of them, 51,000. Pretty good for Tier 5. Okay. Its armor is rough and tough. I mean, you go bow in, they ain't getting to you. The front of the deck can be penetrated. The citadel's way down here. I mean, look at this. This is incredible. 125 millimeters, 75 millimeters, 250 millimeters. So you can take a lot of beating in this ship and you'll be in good shape. Okay? I don't know of anything that's going to overmatch your bow plating or your armor thickness at this tier. Okay? So, um, guns. 356 millimeter guns and 4 turrets, 2 guns each turret. All right, it's a lot of firepower. However, I will tell you, it's up close and personal. Anything at range, you're screwed. Don't try and hit stuff at range unless you feel lucky, because it's not going to happen. And you better hope there's no CV in the game with you either, because it doesn't have jack for anti-aircraft defense at 35. On a Tier 5 battleship, you go against Tier 4 carriers, you're still in pretty good shape, because Tier 4 carriers only have 37 rating on their aircraft, but a Tier 6 carrier has a 46 rating, so they outclass your anti-aircraft defense. Maneuverability, it's okay. It's pretty fast for a Tier 5, 26 knots. It turns fairly okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's a Tier 5 battleship, you concealment, you're not going to hide, so forget about it. The caveat is in this. The downside is here. Um, you only get 3 repair parties, damage control parties. Every other ships get unlimited, but you don't. You only get 3 of them. So use them wisely. That means if you catch on fire with one fire and you use this, you've just wasted something you're going to need. You don't want to do that. Again, it's very limited. And until you get superintendent on your ship, you're only going to have 3 of them. All right, and you'll only get 2 repair parties, which is, I think that's pretty standard. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you only get 2 repair parties. So that's the hang up, is you can take a lot of punishment, but eventually it catches up with you. All right. I took this into battle, and we ended up winning. Unfortunately, I didn't get the capture screen because my computer kind of went foobar, but I know we won because this was at 50 and now it's at 60. So this little number right here, I have a mod that tells me what the win rate on that ship is. Some suck, and some don't. It just depends, on your team and whatnot. And we did fairly well in this game. So we're going to take it into battle and see what it can do. And I'll explain its foibles anyway. As far as the history of this ship never ever existed in its game form. There was a ironclad think Civil War. An ironclad that was named this back in the 1870s. And today, there's a battle cruiser slash battleship by the same name serving with the Soviet Navy uh, for the Baltic Fleet. But I don't know, this was never built. We know very, very little about this project. Um, again, it doesn't exist. It's from the world of imagination. I am guessing that Wargaming dug into the Russian archives and found something that they could base the design of the ship on. But it is a good ship. It is, however, it does have its weaknesses, as I said. So we're going to go into battle and see what it can do. Until then, Starovnya Tavarim. All right, you got into a random battle here, and I'm looking over the ships and I'm seeing what we got on our side and what we got on the other side. This is bog standard for me. I failed to mention in the intro with the Soviet battleships, you probably want to spec them the same way you would something like the Kurfürst or the Bismarck. They are close-in brawlers, and you probably want to spec them that way. Um, so we head off. The start of this battle starts off very, very slowly, as normal. Tier 5 battles normally do. And I'm over here on the southern end of the map, and I'm going to make my way up to the northeast. So I'm pointing that way. But while I'm traveling that direction, just want to point out, I do have modules on the ship. Anything you put on the ship to mitigate fire damage is a good thing. Anything that you can put on the ship to help it heal more is a good thing, because you do have a limited number, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, of repair party and damage control. All right, so you want to try and mitigate that as much as you can. Captain wise, this is only started out as a 3-point captain. You can tell I've played this ship a lot. I do like it. It is a good ship. Captain wise, you want to spec it, go down your captain skills very much the same way you would with a German battleship. All right, these are close in brawling battleships. All right, as you can see, I have a limited range on my main guns. I think it's 18 kilometers. That's not very good. All right, pretty much everything outranges you. Even cruisers at this tier will outrange you as far as the guns go. Didn't get a CV in this battle, but she looks kind of like a standard battleship at tier 5. She's not as pretty as its Julio's Cesare, but what is really. But she is a very good ship, and she's not slow. As you know how American battleships are, you're plodding along at 20 knots. This thing will cruise pretty well. And if you put flags on it, I did not, but if you put flags on it, it will do even better. It'll do like 27 knots or something like that. At this point in the battle, I'm telling our Iron Duke, hey, don't go that way. Bad idea. Don't do that. But as you can see from the position of my ship on the minimap, I have to close. I have to get close. All right, so I'm going to be on the left flank of our main force, because I have to get in close in order to be effective as a battleship for this one. And again, it's got to have it's a good thing these ships do have a weakness, because otherwise they'd be super overpowered. All right, because of the health pool and because of the heavy armor on these ships. So yeah, again, your limitation with the repair party and damage control is probably necessary to keep it balanced. But you're driving a make-believe ship, on a pixelated map against pixelated ships. Well, what can you say? You do what you can. But anyway, I'm cruising along here and taking pot shots at different ships, at what I can. But at range, you're not going to hit very much. Your secondary range is very, very small. Your anti-aircraft range for what all the good it is very small. And again, I get hit I catch on fire, I have to let it burn. If I burn that repair party right away, it's not going to be a good thing. I'd say if your ship gets about half health, then you might want to start thinking about using it when it catches on fire. Um, but it depends on you and how you like to play. I'm just one of those people that I'll hold on to that repair party as long as I possibly can. I do have modules on here to help mitigate fire damage and whatnot. But all that adds up, and you start getting ganged up on by a bunch of smaller ships, you're not going to last. You just get beat down. So I'm trying desperately to get behind this island so I'm not catching all that cruiser fire coming in. And I see there's torps heading my way. One of them hits our destroyer there. And I see there's a Shores that got himself beached up there. So I'm going to take a shot at this guy. I know it's fratricide. Soviet on Soviet. And ba-boom. Headshot. That's the power of your guns, guys. You can one-shot pretty much any cruiser at this tier. Alright. So I'm going to continue. I use my damage control there because I see there's more fire coming in. And I'm going to start facing off against battleships. Alright. That are moving this way. So the game's starting to close in. It looks like everybody went north. Their whole team went south. We went north. So we have an advantage up here. I'm going to, again, try and get behind this island to mitigate some of that damage. I don't want to be catching on fire every 3 minutes. These ships tend to do. They catch on fire a lot. Again, I didn't have any torpedo hits on the ship yet. Knock on wood. And hopefully it'll stay that way. But I imagine the torpedo damage, flooding, would be in the same boat as the fire. But you're maneuverable enough that you can kind of avoid torpedoes. I know eventually I'm going to get hit, but there's another Citadel. That's these guns. Okay? They will punish ships severely if they show any piece of broadside. And again, you've all played this. You've all played Tier 5 battleships. You've all gone into random battles and seen this sort of thing. It's either a lemming train, a pinwheel, or everyone hides behind islands. In this case, it was just a big melee scrum at sea. So I move up besides this island that destroyers like to hide behind. And there's no destroyer behind that one. I look over there. Okay, I see those torpedoes are way over there. And there's a Fuso. And there is a Emerald. So I'm going to take a shot at the Emerald. Probably over Penn.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Emerald's trying to return fire. You can see it's just ineffective. It just bounces right off. Took a shot at that Emerald. It probably led him too close and it fell behind him. So I'm going to give him a little bit more lead this time. Say 5 on my scale. And we'll shoot. The other thing about these ships you have to understand is the reload is forever. And there my fat fingers hit my start key. Apologize for that. So I'm on fire again. I hit my damage control again. At this point, with half health, I really can't afford to be burning all the time. But I am pushing forward. This is what you have to do on Russian battleships. Not necessarily the way I did it, because I made mistakes here. But you push in. You've got to be closer than any other battleship because of the limited effectiveness of your guns at range. And my range is short anyway at 18 kilometers. All right. So there is, I believe that's a Boise. It might be the Nuevo. But I'm taking a shot at it, seeing what I can do. He's angled very well. He's playing his ship very well. So kudos to him. I got 3 fires going. And now you see the problem with the Soviet battleships. You can heal to a point. And after that, they're just going to burn you down. And they end up blowing me up in this battle. So overall, my impressions of this ship is a good, solid Tier 5 battleship that you're going to have fun with. Okay? Until next time, you guys be good to each other and have a great, great day. Bye.